What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 26 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Skarbrand the Exiled Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Skarbrand got himself some really nice battles against the Imperials of Reichland, and frankly the Terror Harvesters did as well, as they got attacked by a full stack with lots and lots of high veterancy and Elite 10 Regiment of Renown units, but unfortunately this newly made little blood host obliterated them, even though we deleted its soul grinder. But yeah, these guys are pretty darn strong now, and that speed buff, I'm sure, really helped out as well. The 30% speed tech that we had just got, Unrelenting Conflict. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time, it is a brand new turn. Okay, so there's lots. So, Terror Harvesters, I think we send you to Fort Oberstyre. Let's see what's going on here. Go figure, it's a bunch of Imperials. We're not going to use you for much other than auto-resolving. We can always make a new blood host when needed. We'll skulls it up. And then, is there anything else in range, like needling? No, you won't be able to deal with that. I guess you will act as a scout and then move past Castle Tempelhof, and just to see what's going on out here. Alright, in the meantime, Skarby. I guess we'll push all of these guys towards this territory. Right here, and Skarby, just hold on to Tavi's army for a bit. It's just easier that way. We'll give it back to him soon. For now, I guess he's kind of back where he started, following Skarby around, even though he's got most of his army. What do we have here? Alright, I wanted to redo some of the banners. Trophy of Killers, I want the Unbreakable with Perfect Vigor on Khorne's Bloody Fist. That makes sense to me. The Area Standard of Chaos, I'm going to say put it on, I guess, the Cultist. And the Banner of Eternal Flame. I can't even see their names? Oh, that's annoying. I assume that this is the one that we want that on. Yeah, alrighty. We'll auto-resolve this for obvious reasons. Hopefully it doesn't damage us too much. Alright, look at this garbage, look at this. Just because he's on that chariot, everybody else is fine, he loses almost all of his HP. Ugh, it's freaking annoying. So, here we will reap the captives. And I guess we'll want to go around Schwarzhofen and then raise it and then move this way real quick. And then have everybody move together. Actually, wait. You know what? Maybe we'll switch you then from the chariot to the Juggernaut? Hopefully will not take I mean, it probably still will take damage, but hopefully not as much. Alright, so Skarby, raise this, please. And for the Skull Throne. Almost tempted to raise another Blood Host, but we just need a little bit more in the way of... ooh, you can reach this, good. Oh, Vlad is... Huh, I didn't think that he was holding on to Dragonhofen. Ooh, I see some iron over here as well. We can raise this... Yes. Wait. Quick save. I don't trust it. I don't trust the auto-resolve not to kill this guy. Okay, probably put him down to 1 HP, but he's still alive. If not for long. You know what? Blood for the Blood God here. And if you have... Yeah, you have 2 Soul Grinders, which unfortunately we'll have to get rid of, and the Blood Crushers as well, unless I'm mistaken. Although... Wait a moment. And just double check that the Blood Crusher capacity is not risen, since now it's 5 out of 4. And wait a moment. We finished the construction of a Soul Grinder, so we can actually keep the Soul Grinders in here, just can't keep the Blood Crushers. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. Unfortunate to delete the unit, but it is what it is. Oh, I forgot where we were. Over here. So, scope. Nope. The Gore Reavers lose those Blood Crushers. Sad though it may be. And then go into raiding stance. We can maybe use you to take... maybe Zufbar? I mean, you probably could. You'd be non-viable after it, but... there's certainly potential. Skarby, oh, funnily enough, you could take Zufbar as well, although you're pretty heavily beat up. It's not, you're not so heavily beat up that it's of any real concern. And just to double check, yeah, you guys can't really move in, but may as well. Oh, and I just realized something. Maybe what I should have done was have activate. Huh? Okay. Have activated. I was gonna say the endless fuel, but we could in theory either replenish or even the other thing. As in replenish movement range or replenish HP in this army, which would probably allow us to, if we go for HP, quickly auto-resolve Zufbar. Although, because it has iron, we probably actually want to occupy it, and I guess we could sack it and then have the Gore Reavers occupy it. Maybe. Maybe that's the way to do it. We'll see what the auto-resolve says. Either way, we're here, and I feel like this is the way to do it. You are allied with Clan Squire and parts of Sartosa, and you are not going to be happy about this, but that's life. Call allies to help? Yeah, sure. Alrighty. And let's see what the auto-resolve says. That's Zufbar, Pyrrhic Victory, but yeah, nobody will die, unsurprisingly. So we'll do this, auto-resolve, and then we'll sack it, like so. Then, that will allow us to proceed to Castle Drakenhof, but we will also instantly replenish the faction leader's army. Like so. Then, to Drakenhof we shall go. And this one we'll also want to claim because of the gold mine, so yeah. We are not going to auto-resolve. We're going to fight this mostly because it's Vlad, and I love him, and he deserves a chance to fight for his life. Not for very long, I'd wager, but fight for his life nonetheless. Let's give that a moment. Major Rager, you are trying to go to Quashotla, and did your little army go here? It did not. Oh, these guys really like us now. But no, we have too many Chaos Dwarf allies now. It's non-viable. Let's send you here. Wow. Solid rating out of that. And it is a tier 5. May as well take advantage. Grawl the Blood Harvester. You have been harvesting plenty of rat blood. And actually, speaking of rat blood, okay, first of all, you go to Mount Greyhag while Eddie goes to Mount Silverspear. Like so. Okay, nothing here of any concern, and then Gold Totems. Who was I gonna give this to? Oh, actually, I was gonna give these to the Heralds of Khorne's Furies. You know what? I'm gonna keep them off for now, just so I don't forget. How to resolve this? Not worth our time, obviously, and then skulls it up. Or do we want to sack it? Let's say I'd like to keep moving. Let's skulls it up. Alrighty. Then we will move southward to you guys. You will run, I'm sure. But we needed to catch you anyway. So. Let's see where you run after this. If they run southward, well, I guess preemptively, just we'll see. Anyway, Eddie, go to Mount Silverspear, please. Should I put you in summoning stance? Why not? Like so, and then we'll raise Mount Silverspear in a similar fashion, like so. For the Skull's Throne, I'd love to sack it, but we're busy, and oh, we got Doomsinger. A little bit late, game, a little bit late, but sure. And there is still the Tower of Gorgoth. Now, we could send you to it, but now that we're at war with Vlad, we should probably prioritize going this way. Yeah, I guess. So you're going back up. Oh wow, this is mountain pass attrition, I take it? Yeah. I mean, you could go right to the edge of it. This is all mountain pass attrition? Yeah. Good lord. Alrighty, well, you know what? Do this then. Go to the edge of this territory. Like so, and then hopefully we can go into... Actually... Might take a while, but go into combat trials to get your mana back up. You won't heal, but you're probably fine. I think that's a better way to do it. Alrighty, happy with that. The next thing I want to do is have Ghoulghast move past the sentinels like this. The heck? Why can't I select this area? Really? Is this all impassable? Wait, we can go here, but I can't. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna select it right here. And then I'm gonna have you go to the sentinels from here. And then we're going to raise the place. Auto resolve's gonna hurt us because it always... it actually wasn't so bad. We're going to raise the place. I'm tempted to get a blood host to help out with this. Alright, go for the blood host. Free banner of Hellfire. And immediately get rid of the... nothing. Okay, I'm happy with that. Then, I wanted you to use this to bounce towards these guys and just take them out so that they don't kill our friends here. Mostly because we need their units, not because I really had a hankering for coming down here. Let's see, then you will run, I'm sure, or will you? We're about to find out. Yep. Yeah, they're gonna run. But that's fully expected. Alright, and then kill this off, and... why did you... oh, yeah, it's a weak army. I was starting to say, why did you run? But then, yeah, it's pretty clear why they ran. Go for our first tribute this time. Yeah, no, you know what, go for Devour Captives. How many turns of this do you have? Yeah, Trophy of Flesh, 38 turns. I think we're... man, I think we're pretty okay. Then, I would like you to go right here. Damaged though you are, if there's a full stack of Demon Stump, they could potentially ambush you. But if they do, they do. That's life. Alright, this way we kept the poorly defended Black Fortress safe and not destroyed. Pretty happy with that. Alright, now that that's done, let's have a fight. Skarby, you versus Vlad, go. Gotta remember about Vanguard deploying Skarby right in front of the wall. At some point I'm gonna do that, and then there's gonna be something super deadly on the wall, like 4 units of Trollhammer torpedoes or something, and he's going to die. Let's see. Yeah, he's got 28 ward save, 35 physical, and 13 missile resistance, so certainly not max, and I do expect that he could take some damage like that. But anyway, here we go. We do have Karl, but to get to Altdorf and to take out the Empire, first we will defeat the Empire of Undeath, and we're already at Castle Drakenhof to strike at the heart of the matter, as it were. The enemy will try to defend against Skarby, who will move by himself. We got some Sylvanian crossbows, some mortal slash... oh, the stomp. Brutal Skarby. What was I saying? Something distracted me. And, oh, wow, the gate is barely damaged at all. I guess Skarby's been a little bit distracted, but damn. Alright, well, it's okay. And the reason that it's okay is that since we've borrowed Tavi's force, we've got the Cygors checking their rocks at the checking the rocks at the wall, and we'll be able to go through the wall instead, should we desire. While Skarby takes on some of the Fellbats who have foolishly decided to distract him. There we go. Fire Breath seems like it would be pretty effective against the Bat Swarm, or a swarm of zombies, or a swarm of living Sylvanians. I don't think Skarby cares much either way. And did the Vargulf die, or did it just run away? Ah, it looks like it backed up. Actually a smart move from the AI, because Vargulfs have the hunger, but it's gonna stop because it doesn't have regular regeneration. And ooh, looks like Skarbrand goes into rampage due to Wrathful Reaper and actually moves through the gate and is in the enemy's settlement now. Although I wish the enemy luck in actually trying to bring him down. The gate is still holding, but that's alright. It won't matter over much, as a couple more hits will bring it down. We've also brought up with our Soul Grinder, that's the one. All the while, ooh, I like the view through the through this little broken up window here. Ah, should have stayed there, Khorne's Bloody Fist. But he's gonna have some fun taking on some of the Graveguard up there, sending some of them flying, while our Soul Grinder makes its way forward, firing its hand cannon into the enemy's faces. And then, of course, we've got the Blood Shrines, or the Blood Reapers, rather, followed by the piles of Skull Reapers. Plenty more skulls to take here. Alright, looking pretty good. We got our single entities in, we got our infantry in, and the Cygor's still chucking those rocks at whatever they can hit. Oh, that was actually a pretty solid hit. Just over the walls. Reasonably accurate here. Ooh, does look like Vlad is going to hit back using the Storm of Night ability, which I'm sure is going to damage Khorne's Bloody Fist, which has lost about 30% of its HP. Skarbrand doesn't like that. He needs his Khorne's Bloody Fist, or he needs Khorne's Bloody Fist to be working. And so he's going to go directly for Vlad, who loses about 70% of his HP or so in 2 hits. If Skarbrand can deliver another hit rather than, get distracted by the Vargulf or by the Crypt Hulks, then Vlad will fall. But it does look like he's distracted, which, fair enough. There's a lot of distractions around, but it looks like the Vargulf will flee, leaving Vlad versus Skarby. And Vlad is still hanging in there. Does he have a few seconds of cannot die or something? It does look like Skarby. There we go. I can't finish the sentence without him dying, I suppose. Alright. We got our Chaos Knights getting ready to move on in as well. Took a little bit of time to get them on field, but we've been having a decent time using them over the course of the last few episodes. And good old-fashioned Chaos Knights are more than plenty. You don't need them to be fancy skull crushers in order for them to do good work. Especially together with those Skull Reapers there. We've got the Lancer Knights for anti-large, and we've got the anti-infantry of the Skull Reapers. And of course all of our single entities are effectively anti-large as well. I'm not sure if Skarby has any particular bonuses. He has a small bonus versus infantry, but obviously he's a lord and it doesn't really matter over much. Yeah, it's hitting for 1.9k now, not bad. Admittedly, his damage is all over the place, but he needs like 500 kills to max himself out, and I guess there's the argument to be made for using him like a chariot just to get enough kills, but I think using him like a chariot is more likely to dish out a lot of damage, but not to actually kill off too many models. And just because that sort of attack has a tendency to do that. Not that it matters, with him attacking at 200 kills, he's still doing pretty good, and that's while taking out the enemy's single entities. Not that there are many of those left. I do believe there's one, the enemy Black Coach, which is not here. Khorne's Bloody Fist has closed the distance with one of the Sylvanian crossbow units that remains, while the last of the Graveguard get overrun. In fact, our knights are just trying to move through them to close the distance with whatever other units remain a little bit quicker. But it looks like they'll get distracted, so we'll whack away at them a little bit. Nice hit, there we go. Alright, the bounce power is at about 95% in our favor now. Our Cygors have effectively run out of ammunition, but they have done pretty well for themselves, hovering around about 100 kills, and one of them actually getting 150. Pretty darn solid work. Alright, it looks like the battle is just about done. The last of the Sylvanians will run away. No, I guess the Graveguard are still in the fight here, though not for very long. I expect the only reason they're still in the fight is because the Chaos Knights are in trying to sort of push their way through them and just block them off. And block our own units off. Just kind of interfere with the fight. But anyway, not that it matters. There we go, the last of the enemy barricades is brought down. The poor Black Coach really should have attempted to participate a little bit earlier. The AI has always been pretty weird in the units that it decides to keep back. It often does that with the Lords, but it also sometimes does that with nice units like the Black Coach. Like, what was the point of that? If you're going to commit like 80% of your army to the engaged defense, you may as well commit the rest. Maybe the AI assumes that the player will sort of play this like the AI plays it, in the sense that it ignores stuff and then just tries to go for the objectives within the settlement. Maybe the AI is programmed to assume that the player would do the same thing. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, with that, the enemies melt away and the battle's ours. Contrary to what this nonsense says. Alrighty, there we go. An unsurprising result sees Vlad and his defenders destroyed, as odd as it feels to have Vlad die in only a few hits, as opposed to being impossible to bring down like usual. The other nice thing about letting Skarby borrow an army like this is the fact that he basically allows it to go all the way up to whatever tier, and that's really, really nice. Lots of extra veterans and ooh, extra HP for Skarby as well. Not that the wound. Oh, Vlad confers enemy hero action success chance reduction faction wide. Oh, that's really nice. I gotta remember that. I did not remember that he had that. Yeah. I mean, I think in vanilla it's just wound recovery time, which is basically useless, but that's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Yes, what was I saying? Right, a Slaughter Incarnate allows us to basically train up another army's troops extremely quickly, and then obviously punt them back to Tavi afterwards. Now, you, Bastion, are waiting one cultist, but you are able to move. You're certainly able to fight, so go there and find enemies and then do stuff. Kjarl. You are supposed to deliver these Chaos Knights of Khorne. Technically the Chaos Dragon as well, but not right now. So start going over here because the Chaos Knights are supposed to go to Tavi. I guess Skarby can hold on to the Chaos Dragon for a bit. Alrighty, what about you? Oh, you two are together. You're waiting for the Slaughter Brutes, and everything else here looks fine to me. Okay, who still needs to move? Have the Storm Ravens. Okay, I believe you guys were going to besiege Kislev with the Serena Katrin defending. Ooh, I'm willing to bet she's going to sally out, so this should be a pretty good fight. Arbal has definitely had some great fights against Kislev before, and ooh, that's a lot of Zargard. It's a concerning amount of Zargard, and of course the Golden Knight causing the silence ability. Yes. Very much yes. Alright, Rampager standard for you and for you. We will begin building siege equipment, but that will definitely be a great fight, so we'll send you here. And no stances. You have all your abilities? Yeah, alright. No need to level you, but we will level Arbal. Oh, he's a little bit short of Deathbringer, unfortunately, and just to double check, he has everything, right? He has Fleshhounds, Knights, Rush to Slaughter does not help. Yeah, okay. I guess we're gonna go for Murder for the additional extra HP. Well, I wouldn't mind his charge or speed. Pretty much anything is good here, to be honest, so let's go for Murder for now. You, sir. I guess we're going to go for hard to hit. You have basically no defenses, may as well get some. You have Esteemed Combatant, which was the important thing right now, so I guess you're gonna get hard to hit as well. And then you, let me guess, hard to hit. Looks like a hard to hit to me. I guess we could have gotten profit on all of you, but frankly, we level up faster by fighting than we do by the passive sort of point gain, so yeah. Anyway, that's you. I believe as soon as we end the turn, we're gonna have a bunch of battles. At Bloodbound, you're gonna have to stay here, unfortunately. No choice in the matter. Just to double check, we don't have bloodthirster capacity, do we? Oh wow, we can generate skull cannons in 3 turns. Oh, because of bread and blood shit, okay. Moxia, you were going to besiege Fort Saul. I do believe they will sally out as well. Ooh, hello. Wait, are these guys at war? Just out of curiosity. Yes, they are. I was wondering whether Gorbad might help these guys out, but I don't think so. You have Monstrous Strength and Chaos Vanguard, Fight or Die. You don't need Malevolent Ranger, and I don't believe you need Speed and Malice. Doesn't look like it at any rate. Let's go for Khorne marked into Burning Brand for the spell resistance. Not that we're likely to meet a spellcaster here. And just to double check that there's nothing here, but there is not. Let's go for Wild Fury. Make you a little bit stronger yourself. You still are waiting for all your heroes. You've been at 17 units for a while. But yeah, I'm almost completely sure those guys will sally out. I could be wrong, but you know. It feels like they will. Alright, so that's you and you besieged. Should be some nice fighting. Kuchar, you're in the same position. You're going to besiege Sartosa, which is going to be an even bigger fight. Actually by a fairly wide margin. Why did you lose your... Huh, odd. Wait, you do have magic... Yeah, you need magical attacks. Oh, you gained the Gorby's Chariot. Actually, I think I'm gonna keep you on the Juggernaut for now. I don't want the auto Huh? Oh. Coming in rank 16. Yeah, okay, that's great. I'm gonna keep you on the Chaos Steed for now. You lose a bunch of HP, but clearly the Autoresolve hates being on that Chariot, so... Let's not screw with you for now. Delivery, evolve, you're fine. I was expecting you to evolve at some point. That ain't happening. At least not right now. You two are fine where you are, and I believe we are good. Yes? You don't need to use this. We don't need to build buildings? Actually, we do. The Blood Marshers. We need to build the Demonic Fortress there, and aha, Nobler Country. We can build whatever here, we can build whatever here, and there we go. Now we don't need to do anything else. Let's end the turn, and let's fight some fights. All three of which I believe are going to be some real good ones. Skip unassigned skill points, heroes not moved, siege equipment available. Where is the siege equipment available? Oh, here. Just in case I'm going to build these. I don't think it'll be needed, but let's not risk it. And then you can't build siege equipment. And what do we have here? Stand of Chaos, Ghost. Okay, give that to you, and then you guys can have Perfect Vigor. Icon of Endless War. The Gorgons can enjoy that. Alright. Now let's end the turn and have some good fighting.
See that you do not test me.
What do you want? No. We're busy. Alright, and it looks like Serena Catron will start the show. 2 stacks, oodles of Zargard, and yeah, lots of 3 legendary heroes. This should be real fun. Yeah. Alrighty, here we go. 2 stacks versus 1, and the enemy have a lot of good stuff, including 3 legends, Serena Catron, Ulrika, and the Golden Knight, all here together in a massive front across the entire battlefield, compared to our single stack, which we cannot do. So we're just going to have to do our best to punch through instead, and coordinate or not, maybe even use the trees a little bit for cover against the enemy Uragan cannons, especially as they're not so good at sniping single entities, and while the Chaos War Shrines are visible within the tree line, the Uragan cannons can't hurt them in the way that they can hurt the Chaos Warriors, which they would absolutely tear to shreds if we let them. Now Arbal is going to try to move towards Serena Catron. Unfortunately, a unit of Winged Lancers gets in the way, and then immediately we have the Kossovite Dervish summons coming in, and our Kossovite Archers or whatever. In the meantime, the Chaos Knights will charge directly towards the enemy ranks. The goal here is not so much to dish out damage, but rather, as we can see here, the 2 Chaos Knights moved in. This is just kind of a neat maneuver. Moved in and then peeled away the enemy, blocking them from 2 sides, essentially opening a passage through the enemy ranks and allowing the Knights of the Brazen Throne Skull Crushers to get through the opening. And this allows them to accelerate to charge the Zargard, and then a couple more acceleration bounces now that we're in the enemy back lines to crash through a few Streltsy and range units, but the goal is those 2 units of Uragan cannons, since we don't want them to fire. And while that would be extremely dangerous for normal cavalry to open up the enemy battle line like that, the Chaos Knights are almost as tanky as Chosen are. So yeah, they do lose about, 20-25% HP for the maneuver, but they do some damage and then can back off with the knowledge that the enemy backline is effectively, well, probably out of the picture, at the very least the organ cannons are. Alrighty, Arbol in the meantime is unfortunately stuck. He does run into the same situation as Skulltaker runs into, where he is too small of a model, not enough mass on a Fleshhound or on a steed to sort of get through if you're stuck, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Otherwise, it looks like the main battle is now joined. Masses of Zargard and Kossars crash into our lines of Chaos Warriors and Chosen. Enemy heroes like this Boyar here are leading. I feel like Kislev needs like a fighty hero, like an Empire captain, but like a Kislev captain, or at least give a, you know, Boyar or Druzhina sort of hero sort of deal. Because you always end up bringing piles of Patrax to everything, but no, anyway, not that it's that important. Ooh, and it looks like the enemy has... Wait, did it have that Elemental Bear with them, or is this a summoned creature from the Heart of Winter, or not the Heart of Winter, whatever the ability is called that allows you to summon one? I suppose it doesn't matter. What does is that it is facing off against a giant, and that's going to take probably the entire battle for the two to face off against each other. But nice for the big boys to clash while the infantry sort of fight around their feet. Otherwise, let's see how the battle is going. We've got essentially 3 separate skirmishes. The left flank, which is infantry holding the line as best they can. We've got the center, where the enemy's sort of mainliners are concentrated. And then the right flank, where we've decided to weave away our Chaos Knights all the way from the left flank, as they're no longer needed there, to reinforce the right, as we're looking to use the Fleshhounds and the Chaos Knights together to collapse the enemy's right flank and start a domino effect into the entire enemy's army. And this is likely to be the last sort of great fight for... Oh, nice animations from those Fleshhounds. Those Kossars are having a bad time, or is that Streltsy unit? I suppose it doesn't matter. They'll all be lunch soon enough. Alright, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, probably the final fight for Mr. Arbol in terms of being a big fight, and the conquest of Kislev, I think, is an appropriate place to end his sort of mini-campaign within Skarbrand's campaign. Although, of course, he does still have to win the fight. Advance power is in our favor, but only slightly at about 55%. The infantry continue to clash, and everybody is taking plenty of damage. Arbol, unfortunately, still stuck, and even with the cavalry gone, he's still trying to get his way out of those Kislevite warriors, keeping in mind that he's not immune to contact effects, and Cavalry Bane prevents him accelerating out of there easily with 75% reduction. Though they've done a ton of work over the course of the battle, the Knights of the Brazen Throne are down to half of their models and a quarter of their HP, after dealing 47,000 damage, mind you. But they've served their purpose, killing at least one more unit and then allowing the Fleshhounds to run them down, with a little bit of help from the Chaos Knights, who are once again working together with the Fleshhounds, and we can still bounce through a few of the enemy infantry with the Knights of the Brazen Throne. Luckily, the piles of infantry don't need all that much controlling, and by the looks of it, the only thing that remains is to cut down those Kislevites that are still in Bayar blood beneath the canopy of the trees. Kislev's last army has been destroyed, and now we just have to wait out the clock, and I guess allow Ulrika to crumble as well. I only noticed these little carved things in the Kislevite forests like last campaign, and now I'm shocked that I never noticed them. But anyway, we've got Ulrika down to, what, about half of her HP, maybe? Disappearing. One of our Fleshhounds is severely damaged as well, but we should be able to get it back into an aura and heal it up, because the enemy army is running away. And, yeah, I'm not entirely sure why the bloodthirster is leaving, but I suppose it doesn't matter, as Ulrika will melt away in short order. Down to half HP now, but at least still fighting. At least trying to. The Chaos Knights are probably not going to make it easy, as they have a lot of mass and they have a tendency to block things off. There we go. With that, Ulrika falls. Serena Katrin shatters? Or is she back? Oh, is she in Bayar blood now? I'm not entirely sure. I think this is a proximity thing. Like, she'll get close to us, and then, yeah, as soon as she gets close, she'll shatter. And with that, the battle is ours. Our summoned units melt away, and we are looking good. A very nice, massive fight against the Kislevites, and a heroic victory for Mr. Arbol. Oh, alrighty, been getting a lot of heroic victories lately, but perhaps it's unsurprising considering that we've sort of started choosing only the big battles, you know, auto-resolving the sort of one stacks generally, and then fighting when they're when the odds are a lot more stacked against us like they were here. Great work out of mostly everybody. Funnily enough, we didn't get a lot of value out of Arbol in this particular battle, as he basically got trapped by a unit of Kislevite warriors, and regardless of his explosion ability, just could not get out of the blob for the entire battle. On the bright side, though, with his knights now on field, they did real well in terms of achieving their objectives, while our Chaos Warriors of various kinds held the line. And interestingly, it looks like the Sword and Board or Axe and Board here actually did a little bit better than the Chosen, though the latter did make it into the battle a little bit later, so it kind of does make sense. Anyway, you will... well, we'll want to occupy Kislev, won't we? Lead captives. Hopefully it didn't punt us out of the siege. I hate when it does that. I still don't understand why it does that sometimes and why it doesn't. I assume it's a bug, but I'm not entirely sure. Alrighty, round 2 of the big fights today. Ruinous Assault Spite also has 2 stacks, and well, Kukhar's got his work cut out for him here. Several units are going to be very tough to deal with. Depth Guard, lots of gun units. Those obviously have to be priority, as they will gun down chariots and blood shrines and whatnot rather quick. Let's see how we do.
Spoilers, the slaughterers, the war chosen. We fight for Khorne!
Alrighty, here we go. Drakenhof has fallen, Kislev has fallen, now the time has come for Sartosa, as well as it is in the way of the Blood Hunt. Though it's going to be a darn tough fight here, and the Vampire Coast in particular is a really good faction to sort of counter piles of chariots that we have here in this particular army. So as to whether we pull this off, I suppose that remains to be seen. Here we go, we're gonna get that first charge in. Of course, unlike the regular chariots, the Gorby's chariots can get stuck in, and they pretty much have no choice, as while we did deploy Kukhar and his incarnate elemental beast in the center, we are keeping the skin wolves back and all of the flesh hounds under Karanak back as well. The idea being to distract the enemy in the center as much as possible, and then try to have the flesh hounds and skin wolves alike clean up all of the enemy range units that they can, as obviously over time they will destroy the blood shrines, blood reapers, and the chariots as well. Anyway, thanks to stock on those flesh hounds, the artillery are closed in pretty quickly. Admittedly, the mortars are actually no threat whatsoever in this particular army, but we may as well destroy them. In the meantime, Karanak closes the distance with one of the enemy gunnery wights, who is atop the top little rotting Promethean. And Karanak should have no problem annihilating the gunnery wight, while over all the way on the right flank here, our flesh hounds have closed with a few more mortar crews and a few more range units, and should be tearing them to shreds rather quickly. Though it is a bit of a shame that that Karanak doesn't give them gore feast, as that would make them a little bit better as mainliners where Karanak is. In the meantime, we've sent our armored skin wolves into the woods. There isn't too much in the way of large units rather, for them to take advantage of their anti-large here, but I feel like the werewolves belong appropriately in the woods. And yeah, we got woods, we got the moon overhead. It feels on theme here. Maybe not quite for Warhammer, but, you know, just for werewolves in general. Anyway, we've got the zombie part getting on with hand cannons being absolutely torn to shreds, unsurprisingly. And here, we've got the skin wolves down to about half HP, fighting the animated hulks, as usual, not to be underestimated. But we'll back off into the trees a little bit and then, you know, surround them with more armored skin wolves to take advantage of the anti-large. I do believe Karanak has killed off the first of the gunnery wights. Here lies its corpse and will now move towards Aranessa herself, which has surrounded now by one of the units of armored skin wolves that wanted to take advantage of that anti-large. But we'll need a little bit more damage coming in from Karanak to deal with it, as there are depth guard protecting Aranessa, as odd as that may seem. Over in the center, our incarnate elemental beast is down to about 20% of its HP, which is pretty darn dangerous, fighting man-eaters and all of the other big melee units, with a little bit of help from some of the remaining chariots. And of course, Kuchar right in the center of the entire enemy formation. Kuchar is pretty okay at about 75% of his HP. Ooh, gotta watch out for this blood shrine, as it will start melting away if we're not careful. On the bright side, though, the enemy's numbers are starting to run low. The bounce power is at about 70% in our favor. Some flesh hounds have joined the fray to help out these skin wolves that are still fighting over him. What are you doing? Well, he can't land a hit. Well, at least the animated Hulk just sort of died by itself. And I suppose it doesn't matter, as Karanak has defeated Aranessa's Saltspite while taking no damage itself. And with Aranessa shattered, her entire force loses heart, and the battle is ours. Karanak will unsurprisingly run Aranessa down, and we just have to wait out the clock until the last of these zombies melt away. And Sartosa, ironically, belongs to the living once more. Or, well, some living, some neverborn. It was still probably better than undead. Alrighty, and there... Oh, no, there is another unit in here. Okay. Give it a minute. Frankly, these guys are probably just going to melt away regardless, but, well, a few flesh hounds moving into them will speed them right along. Ooh, getting some nice air on one of them. Again, flesh hounds are gigantic, so, yeah. Size of like a regular horse. Not a chaos horse, mind you, but, you know. Hard to find chaos roids for everybody. And another heroic victory for another capital fallen. Fantastic. Ooh, alrighty, a very nice fight as well for Kuchar the Blood Hunter. I'm glad he got to see a very sort of tough battle with lots and lots of enemies to contend with, and as usual, came out ahead. Let's just see here. Oh, wow, some of the irregular chariots of Khorne did quite well. This one actually beating out the Gorbeast chariots, though admittedly the Gorbeasts did lead the charge and thus took more damage. And the Incarnate Elemental has been doing fantastically well with Kuchar. If it's possible, next time we run Kuchar, maybe I'd like to bring the Incarnate Elemental back. I kind of like the idea of it with him now. It's grown on me, especially with the skin wolves. Yeah, anyway, as for the dogs, it looks like the bloodhounds carry the day for the doggos by a small margin over the Karanak's puppies. And yeah, very, very nice fight. We will actually... Well, we don't really need the money, we don't really need the skulls, we'll just occupy Sartosa, and at least this way we won't have to worry about attrition damaging any of our units. Yes, indeed, Moxia. It looks like they will sell, yeah, they got a tank, they got some Hellstorms, which are going to be devastating to our poor Forsaken. Let's see if we can dodge that fire. Go. Alrighty, well, we'll certainly try, although that's actually a question as to whether we want to destroy or capture Fort Saul. I don't imagine it'll be of any use to us, but we'll see. Again, I've always found it bizarre the way that the game treats fortified settlements as in fortresses, where the Empire can, or the Empire or Cathay can actually hold them. But you're telling me no other faction can make use of a gigantic wall, or fortify a battle, or fortify a pass through the mountains? It's ridiculous. All factions should be able to capture and have a massive garrison at these locations, and they should be incentivized in trying to hold them. But anyway, I digress. Here we go. Minotaurs of Khorne and Bulgors working together. Everybody, however, will charge the Wissenberg's welcomers. War wagons. Admittedly, the grenade launchers aren't as threatening as regular war wagons are, but nonetheless. Anyway, the Minotaurs will crash through the enemy lines, but they're not actually looking to go after the halberds so much as to try to tie up as many of the enemy missile infantry as they can. But frankly, it's kind of hard to tell a Minotaur of Khorne or otherwise what to do. So they'll just tear everything to shreds regardless. And of course, Moxie, our Demon Prince, has landed to go after the enemy. Okay, I clicked in the wrong location, my bad. Landed to go after the enemy Lord, though getting a little bit distracted by the piles of infantry. Though admittedly, with our army now closing the distance, the enemy is not a prayer here. Almost all of the enemy are in rampage, and our Forsaken have arrived, a little bit slower, of course, than the Minotaurs due to their, well, them being slower, go figure. But should still help in tearing the enemy apart nicely. 67 weapon strength is decent, though nothing crazy, admittedly, considering we have no melee defense and these guys take damage fighting anything, whether it be gobs or or it's probably Skaven slaves, it doesn't really matter. Although at least against Skaven slaves and such, their reasonably heavy armor at 120 would at least keep them alive significantly longer. But that's kind of the fun of using them together with the Minotaurs. As Khorne Gors are a little bit tankier than Forsaken, with actually fairly high melee defense by comparison. And so I felt like that would keep this army a little bit more interesting. Anyway, the bounce power shifts to about 90% in our favor. I believe the enemy lord has been cut down, his skull taken by the Demon Prince. And a few more seconds remain until the enemy army shatters and the battle is ours. Perhaps they should not have in fact sallied out of their fortress. That's a dwarven fortress in the background, but should not have sallied out and gotten themselves destroyed in the process. But we got a nice field battle out of it, so I'm hardly one to complain. These war wagons are the bane of my existence. That one survived, meaning we won't be able to take the place this turn, but what can you do? A very, very nice fight. The enemy certainly had the advantage of distance and armor-piercing missile damage, the tank, the hailstorms and all of that, but we were able to sort of bull rush through the front line of melee troops and then into the back line with our Minotaurs. Then the Forsaken distracted the melee line. After we dealt with the range, we went back and slaughtered all the rest of them. And it worked out pretty beautifully in my opinion. I do believe... Oh right, this is one of the armies where we don't have any names. Ooh, Bulgors did pretty well. 1719 looks like one of the Minotaurs of Khorne did fantastically well. I would say, by the looks of it, the Forsaken beat them, but they also probably got a lot of mileage out of chasing things down, so I'm not entirely sure how much we can ascribe to what they've been doing themselves. Anyway, peace treaty, Gorbad. Oh, poor fella. He had been doing so well until, until we came around. Military alliance now. Alrighty, and by the looks of it, no further attacks? Yeah, those were the three big sieges, and honestly, what is this? Oh, Bloodbound wants to evolve. No, I like Bloodbound. Well, no, I kind of like Bloodbound as he is. Ask again in 10 turns. Summoner Sees Plague, the Mawgate. Oh, great. Ugh. Maybe we should build more of those anti-plague buildings. This causes some annoyance, potentially. Anyway, enemy killed in battle, purple amulet consigned to the drink, regeneration when fighting at sea. Juggernaut for Kuchar. Yeah, sure. And parts current secured. Good. Going to blood tributes. Got a jugger plant out of it. Nice. And a blood-drenched herd stones for more minotaurs. Don't need this, however. I do think we will build the defenses here and then the wine as well. Free crown of command. Let's hope that we can turn it into something a little bit more useful. Stump pit also receives plague. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Ooh, and this is the Skaven play. Fortunately, we don't have any of our units around here anymore. And frankly, we've by and large wiped these guys out. Oh, but look at that, it's Treachery. We've at least wiped out most of their strength, so we should be good to kill you off like so and get your defeat rate. Resolve. And, oh wow, why did we take so much damage? But what can you do? Frankly, this army's kind of used to it. And Bloodbound, you can't reach, oh, you can reach this. Ooh, fantastic. Grawl, I would like you then to go into March Stance right here. We'll use Bloodbound to catch Vecteek. And hopefully we can just reinforce and kill him. Come on, don't, you had to go all the way around, didn't you? You frickin' had to go all the way around so that we can't reach you. Ah, sickening. Ah, but we're in range. Ha ha ha. Screw you, Vecteek. Alrighty, well, it worked out, if just barely so. Go to devour captives again. Lovely. And we got some of our movement range back as well. Craven by name, speed for Lord's army. More speed for those bloodletters is just lovely. These guys are presumably trying to get to the demon's stump, which we want for ourselves, but by the looks of it, we can reach it ourselves first, so we're fine. Sorry, Grutspummer. And we will reinforce with the Blood Host, I guess, though I'm sure it'll take unnecessary damage here. This was kind of what we were going to use it for in the first place, so I guess we're good. Alright, and we'll take the demon's stump and we'll occupy it. Yeah, look at this insane amount of damage, but occupy, can we... Yeah, it's a tier 3, isn't it? Yeah, alright. So, trophy chamber and 3-headed scenthounds. Keep those. We're keeping this location as well. And then neither of you can or needs to move, so just sit there for the turn. And I guess you two can move northward or really start doing so. Go this way. Alright, and then you... Again, I assume you can't... Yeah, alright, fine. Go into World's Edge Archway, then. We'll spend the turn healing like this, and we'll raid our way to Mount Gunbad. I think that's the way to do it. And Farmort. Did you get sent back? Yes, you did. You were there, now you're here. Well, that's Mad's map for you. At least it only moved you one space, but if it does it again, it won't have been worth it. And I love how it always seems to send you back the way you came, rather than forward or to the side. Any one would have worked except the one that we got, but what can you do? Lucchini, I believe we already sacked it, so we're free to just raise it from here. We need Miragliano anyway, so let's go raise that. And I'm going to hope that you can do this medium casualties. I'm going to hope that it's fine. Auto-resolve? Yeah, I expected severe damage, so what can you do? I was tempted to raise a blood host to... Yeah, you know what? I can always delete the unnecessary units. Like the bloodthirster. The rest is fine. Alrighty, then you go here now, and I'm going to hope that we can do this.
Exiles of Khorne.
And again, the garrison of Rafrafa will get drawn out, meaning we'd need to fight, because we're so severely damaged that we can't just straight up attack it, unfortunately. But it is what it is. We'll just have to save that for next time. You can occupy Fort Saul now. And I've actually been quite curious. If we just straight up occupy it, Do we have a decent garrison? No, no. Why? So wait, Khorne also can't fortify? Nobody can fortify anything. That's silly. I don't know. If you find a fortified position, I feel like most factions should get some use out of this building. It's so weird that, like, no factions can... whatever. And Vashnar, are you able to? You are just able to reach Khorne. Beautiful. And it's got iron. And it's got a very nice battle for you to be had soon, I'm sure. Alrighty, but I think we'll have to have that one next time around, because we're effectively out of time here, so I'm going to call this particular episode here. I think that this was probably the sort of part 1 of the finale, and the next episode will probably be the last. Again, the interest just isn't there anymore, A and B. We had some amazing battles this episode, and frankly, it's kind of hard to imagine it going, you know, higher, it's all downhill from here. I mean, not really downhill so much as we've reached the peak of some battles, and it's hard to imagine getting such good fights all over the place again. And at the same time, we took Drakenhof, Kislev. Okay, wait 1 second. This guy's here. I was gonna say just occupy Kislev. You don't have siege attacker, do you? You do have siege attacker. You can actually abandon the siege. I assume you've defeated Serena Katrin, right? Yeah, you have Ice Load Crusher. Alright, you know what? Break siege. Like so. And then we'll have this little fella go here and occupy Kislev. This better not severely damage us. Huh, I killed a bunch of the dogs, even, whatever. Whatever, and we could sack it for 200k, but we don't need money anymore, we're past it. Occupy Kislev. Just so that it's easier to defend. Alright, this bug. And we'll immediately want to build the defenses, and I assume that we can build the defenses. Kislev, I know, has some trouble with that sort of thing, but I don't think we do. Alrighty, and then that will allow our ball to go in and I assume auto-resolve this, because this is garbage. Oh, and then we're gonna have to move back to, I was about to say back to Prague, but the problem with Prague is that it's got a Skaven plague, and I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. I will think about it. For now, though, I think we are going to be out of time, and I'm going to, like I said, call it here. Next episode, most likely the finale. As once again, this time we did get Castle Drakenhof and Kislev, and I think there was something else that was good, but yeah, some good stuff, basically. Stay tuned for more, just a little bit more Khorne. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.